Happy New Year, everyone. Well, happy Chinese New Year, everyone, whether or not you're celebrating or not. Us as Feng Shui enthusiasts, I know, Chinese New Year or February 4th, if you know the difference, the solar and the lunar calendar, is something that we are mindful of because that signals to us the official shift from energetically from the old year to the new year. So this is the chart for the year, okay? Year 2019, the month of February, the fourth day. So basically the forecast is based on the chart for this year. And it starts on the hour of 11:14, okay? So this being Ji Hai, which is a yin earth pig, Bing Yin, which is yang fire tiger, Ren Shen, which is yang water monkey, and then Bing Wu, which is yang fire horse. So all in all, this is the chart that all Chinese astrologers will, based on when it comes to doing a forecast, like a forecast such as what I'm about to do right now. In this video, I'm only referring to how the energy of the year impacts you based on the year you are born. You still need to look at the month, day, and hour. So going back to this, just like the year has its own chart, you have your own chart when you're born. So this is why this is called the four pillars, right? Or in Chinese, 八字, meaning there's 8 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This year being the year of the pig. Who's a pig here? So just a small piece of the puzzle, exactly, okay? So for the pigs, you're looking at possible advancement around career, finances, maybe even business. You have what's called the 8-seat energy, and that usually also means good acknowledgement that you're kind of pushed to the forefront. So you also need to be ready for this. So there's advancement in career, finances, business, or whatever it is, but if you're not internally, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally prepared for more opportunities, then you're also gonna just see it like, passing through your fingers. So now that you know, all you pig or boar, year of the boar or year of the pig, born people, then you have to be ready. Gain your self-confidence so that when the opportunity comes, you see it for one, and second, you seize it. See it and seize it, okay? Pig-born people, you also have the blood knife energy and the sword edge energy. So a bit of a double whammy here in terms of health, but it means you're prone to injuries, you're prone to accidents. So what I normally ask my clients to do is, especially metal-related injuries. So if you're cooking, be really careful when you're chopping. You don't want to chop off your fingers. When you're in the car or when you're traveling, I would do more protective rituals. So I strongly believe in prayer. I have a prayer. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a good time to travel or a bad time to travel. Every time before my plane takes off, I do my protection prayer for traveling. And you can also do a meditation, especially if it's like a long distance travel, do some sort of a meditation to keep yourself in a protective energy, right? Protective bubble. One thing, it's a generally pretty good year for the pig. One thing that you want to be mindful of is this mantra. Maybe you want to put it on a sticky note. Pride comes before a fall. It can be a fairly good year for you, except the ego mind might take over a little bit more. Well-intentioned people might come to you with advice, with guidance, but you're like, oh, no. I think I'm going to do it this way. I know what I'm talking about. So not wanting to be open to other people's guidance or opinions might actually work against you this year. And so especially around money, I want you guys who are pig-born or born in the year of the boar, to be extra careful around your decisions around money. Especially if it's rash, if it's uncalculated. So just be careful with that. Just a tiny thing is the way you come across might be a little rash to people as well. Again, you may be well-intentioned or maybe not so well-intentioned, but what you say, how you write your emails, for instance, how you convey your message to people might rub them the wrong way. And you have to be really careful, especially in a career setting or in a business setting. You may or may not realize how harsh you've been or how blunt you have been. People really don't want to hear it. And to a point, a little bit insensitive. So you don't want to lose that connection in your society just because you're kind of, not to say standoffish, but like insensitive. So it's more to say, okay, step back. Do I really need to say this? Do I need to write this down and send it in an email, right? Just think about that. Relationship-wise, you may feel more argumentative and you hold on to little issues. And so in Chinese, they would say 小事做成大事. A small molehill becoming a mountain, right? So that is another theme that's going on for the pigs. But overall, as long as self-awareness is there, it can be a very strong year for you guys, okay? Whether it's a Grand Duke or not. Oh, before I forget. So the pigs, you are hit with the Grand Duke energy. But it doesn't mean it's a bad year for you. It just means you need to be smart about how you navigate the minefield. So again, inner Feng Shui, outer Feng Shui are the two main ingredients that you need to do if you're hit with a Grand Duke. Well, everyone needs to do it, but specifically if you have the Grand Duke, that will be your fallback plan this year. And I can tell you, so my husband's the year of the dog. So just last year was his year. It was he was hit with the Grand Duke, but because obviously I feng shui my home, and he does his meditative practice, and I do rituals for him as well. Career-wise, it's been like a huge jump in his career last year. So if anything, this is motivation or inspiration for you guys, you pig-born or boar-born people. That Grand Duke is, fine. You have the Grand Duke on your back, but you have tools to deal with the year. Okay, everyone does, but this is specifically for those who are worried about the Grand Duke. Because in Chinese astrology, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm hit with the Grand Duke. Even astrologers will tell you, oh, it's a bad year for you. You like hunker down, like, don't do anything and just ride out the year. That's not necessarily the advice that I would give you. It can still be a great year for you if you know how to play with your cards here. Oh, rat-born people. Who's a rat-born? All right. So, rat-born people generally are fairly confident. Generally, okay? Again, I'm only looking at the year pillar here. I haven't looked at the other three pillars. This year you need to, if you have a big project especially, it is imperative for you to break it down into smaller chunks. Otherwise, there is a chance that you can't or you won't finish the project. Okay? Things will just fizzle out towards the end. So that's one thing. So take baby steps. So all your bigger goals, that's fine. Keep your bigger goals, but just break them down into smaller goals. Okay. More traveling opportunities. There's the heavenly horse in your chart this year. So the opportunities could be leisure. It could be business or career related. So that's great. Everyone loves to travel. You also have the Sun Star, and the Sun Star is help from people with power and authority. Again, it can be in your career, it can be in your business. Even if you guys don't have a business, right? You still have help from noble people. Actually, many of the astrological signs this year have quite a good amount of noble people help. So just keep an eye out. Either it's a mentor or anyone who can give you advice, the kind of advice that could help you, right? Because some people don't give good advice, but you are likely to be surrounded by people who can help you progress and move forward. Also, potential pay raise at work. Only thing here is, so there's the peach blossom as well. And you guys have to be really careful with peach blossoms. And I've mentioned that in the Feng Shui 2019 call. I won't go into details there. But there's unwanted romantic situation. So I've worded it as gently as I can. What are unwanted romantic situations? Well, it could be temporary love affairs that could just get really, really messy. It's just not worth to get started in it at all. It could be really scandalous. If you're already in a relationship, be careful, either in a committed relationship or you're married, be careful in how you interact with the opposite sex, because you might just encourage them unknowingly. And even if there's no issues with your marriage, I would highly recommend that you nurture your relationships before it's too late. Okay? Have date nights, sit down and listen to your partner and things like that. So also generally, a fairly happy year for the rat. Okay, now we have the ox. You have the Tang Fu and the Jade Hall. Okay, the Yu Tang. Your reputation will see a huge uptick. Again, great if you're in career or if you're in business, as well as an increase in your wealth opportunity. So I know a lot of people want to hear this. So the oxes have this. Very similar to the pigs. Communication is something that you need to watch out for this year. There are potential quarrels and miscommunications. There are petty people as well. Again, pick your battles, okay? If there are just people around you just being petty or jealous or whatever, just take a deep breath and keep going, okay? Because some battles are just not worth it to get into. So that is what I would highly recommend. Stress will affect you this year. So have a stress management tool. Okay, I love meditation, or even just go out walking for a hike, go swimming, or even just soaking in a bathtub with Himalayan sea salt. Anything to help you manage your stress. It's very, very important, because otherwise the stress could lead to other things. Okay. Relationship-wise, it could be a little bit quiet. So it's up to you. If you can decide to maybe just take a step back from your relationship and just focus on your career this year, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to keep putting yourself out there, definitely you need to kind of step up in terms of how you're putting yourself out there, okay? If you've never tried an online profile, then maybe this is the year to do it, just to kind of spread your net a little bit wider. All right. And for the oxes, if you're currently in a relationship and you feel that it's a little bit monotonous, then just find creative ways to spice it up, as opposed to just checking out from the relationship. Tiger. Who are tigers over here? Pretty good year for the tiger, I have to say. A little bit jealous. There are powerful, noble people to help you out there. You have the Moon Star, you have the Grand Duke combo. It's almost as if, okay, so the Grand Duke combo and the Moon Star are almost like the mom and the dad, and you're like the little kid, right? And you're mischievous, and you get into trouble and whatever, and then your mom and dad will go, that's okay, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of the post mischief mess. We'll fix it up for you. Almost like that. So not to say that you can go out and just wreak havoc, but all I'm saying that you can get away with quite a bit this year, and things just kind of sort itself out in the back. Again, this is not your, like, green light to, commit a crime. Don't take me literally, okay? So Grand Duke combo and the Moon Star is really, really great for you. Also, you have that you're on track to gain more reputation, and especially if you're in business, your customers, your clients, or your patients will tend to like and trust you more this year. And any entrepreneur will know if the like and trust factor is high, then they're also more likely to give you their business. Okay. Wealth luck is also really strong. Again, going back to the Moon Star and also the National Treasure Star. Some astrologers will say, and I guess it's not totally incorrect to say, if you have the National Treasure Star, that if your job is also connected to finances or accounting or whatever, then you get that additional boost. Then this will be the wave for you guys who are born in the year of the tiger. This will be the wave that you can ride on this year. Also, another thing, if you're in business, don't shun your friends and your network. In fact, I would suggest that you step it up a little bit more, because that is probably your gold mine there that you need to kind of excavate a little bit more this year. Okay. Whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, you might find yourself a little bit more romantic, a little bit more amorous this year. Again, going back to the Moon Star, right? Like those moonlit walks by the beach kind of thing. So if you're single, that might work. Well, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, that will work for you in order for you to woo a new partner or to woo your current partner, right? Even if you're with someone, it doesn't mean that you stop wooing them. Okay, men, take note. Two things I want you guys in Tiger to watch out for. You do have this star called the piercing rope. So usually with that, it just means burnout is an issue. You might spread yourself too thin. There's no work-life balance. And so that obviously at the end, trust me, I've burned out many, many times. It's not fun. So you need to, I'm a workaholic. So if you're a workaholic and you're a tiger, this is a double whammy year for you in terms of that. So, and this would obviously impact your relations with your friends and your family. So really be mindful of that. And there's also potential legal and contractual issues. So if you're going into any contracts, or if you're doing renovations, for instance, in Feng Shui, we talk about renovations all the time, or anything that can open you up to legal liabilities, I want you guys to be extra careful this year. So, rabbits, cute rabbits, also a really good year. You have the golden lock. I don't know how other schools will call it. But basically it's when you see the golden lock in an astrological chart, that usually means money luck is really, really strong. And so it might be a good year for you to invest this year, but do your homework before taking the plunge. Don't just say, oh, I've got the golden lock this year, I can just put my money and it's going to grow anywhere. No, you still need to be smart in terms of where you put your money. Okay. There's also the 5 ghosts. Now, there's a traditional reading and I guess a more modern reading into this. The traditional reading of the 5 ghosts is a little bit panic inducing, I should say, like, in terms of spirits being around you, or in terms of, tip of my tongue, I don't know that word, but it's bad spirits and how it will affect you emotionally, spiritually, mentally. That is the older explanation to it, and it may, depending on the rest of your chart and your home, because some homes can invite spirits a little bit more than other homes. Rabbits are hit with the 5 ghosts this year. on a more modern tip, the 5 goes, just for me, I would just call it internal struggle, okay, or an uneasiness. Because sometimes, I don't know if anyone has felt this, sometimes you just feel like something is wrong, but you don't know what it is, right? Something is wrong, but it's like, damn it, if I can't put my finger on it. So this year could be that year where you feel like that, okay? I urge you to seek support, talk to someone, friend or family, or if you need to talk to someone professionally, feel free to do that. Highly recommended that you do that, because this could be that year where you just feel that internal uneasiness, okay? There's the general star. So whether in career or in business or even in your societal standing, the general star, if you think about the general in a war, in the military, right? The general is almost always on a horse, and like you're looking down to the rest of your army, right? And so you get the respect and you have the authority. So the general star is going to push you up. If you are in a position where you have staff, or you have team members or whatever that work under you, this would be the year that you get less trouble from them, right? You give out a command and things get done. You also have the 3 stages, which also means increased likability. So that's the thing. The combination of the general star and the 3-stage Santai is really good, because sometimes you get authority, but people don't like you, right? In this case, in the rabbit's case, you get the authority and you're respected and liked. So that's a good combo. Very similar to the tiger is also potential legal hiccups. So again, anything that could open you up in terms of legal liability, just be really careful with that. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water. Okay. Relationship-wise, there are potentials, especially if you are single, and it could come from your current pool of social circle. So if you're a single rabbit, just open your eyes a little bit more. Sometimes the love of your life is literally just under your nose and you're not seeing it. Well, not literally, but close. And dragons. So what's coming to the dragons this year is what's called the monthly virtue. And the monthly virtue usually is a great energetic support to have if you are a student. Or if you are dragon and if you've been thinking about going back to school, let's say getting another certificate or another college diploma, this is a really good year to start, because academically things will go along much smoother for you. And you also have the red matchmaker. So the red matchmaker usually is like green light in terms of relationship. So you will be more attractive to people, especially of the opposite sex. Red matchmaker also usually denotes marriage and happy celebrations. And it's actually not uncommon for me to see my clients having married or having met their partner on a red matchmaker year. So keep an eye out for that. Also enhances interpersonal relationships. So it's great. Interpersonal relationships are great for your social life, but it's also really great for your career as well. So the red matchmaker is your relationships on all fronts, your private, your personal. Okay. Only thing is you do have the what's called the lesser consumer. Usually that means you're a bit of a shopaholic. So the thing is, it's totally within your control, right? If you think you are going for, retail therapy, then maybe, some people say you freeze your credit card in the freezer so you don't get to use it. Now, the only problem is you can still shop online. So it's more of a self-awareness now. Okay. You will have opportunities to travel or relocate. And for most of you, again, I'm looking only at the year pillar. If you do get the opportunity to travel, especially relocating, because obviously that's a bigger decision, whether it's a good idea to relocate or not, you really should work with an astrologer to look at the other elements of your chart. Okay? Or if you are in business, then the pulling saddle also means that you could expand your business overseas, okay, outside of your own country. So if you've already been thinking about that, maybe this is a good year for you to start getting those wheels turning and putting things in place. So snakes, how are we doing here? Any snakes here? Okay, so snakes could be a challenging year, but you could still come out a winner if you know how to deal with it. Okay? There could be changes in your social circle. There could be changes in your extended family, potentially a loss. So just, spend as much time as you can with your friends and family, the ones that you really care about and the ones who care about you. That would be a good idea. If there's any emotional loose ends, if there's any healing, any forgiveness work that needs to be done, this would be the year to do it with your friends and family as well, before it's too late. Okay? You also get opportunities to travel more abroad, or actually also relocation, because you also have the sky horse. You also have the greater consumer. So the dragon just now has the lesser consumer. You have the greater consumer. So this is absolute uncontrolled spending. And, these are like the higher ticket stuff. So you need to be really, really asking yourself, in the moment, you may say, oh, I really need this. I really, really need this. But you need someone, maybe enlist someone close to you to kind of step in whenever they see you teetering, like putting down your credit card or whatever and getting like a 4 or 5 figure purchase, right? Because this could really put you into trouble for years to come if you don't control yourself. So the snakes, you also have the year breaker this year, and you also have the obstacle star, meaning a lot of the projects or plans that you have in place might not go to plan. So again, I'm not usually a pessimistic person, but being prepared is always smart. Whatever it is that you want to do this year, I would suggest that you come up with a plan B, maybe even a plan C, just so if your plan A falls through, then you're just not like left with, okay, what do I do now, right? You don't want to be stuck that way. You also have a sky bright in your chart. So all of you guys who are snakes, who are in where your work or your business or even your passion is related to being like out in the public, like an entertainer, a speaker, maybe like a coach, like dealing with the public, you are likely to get that boost of fame, okay? And so with that acknowledgement of your work, if you are smart, then you can also bring in more of that wealth to come through as well, okay? Relationship-wise, there is a potential for self-sabotage, whether you're single or you're in a committed relationship. Sky tears or sky sadness is the name of the energy. So it's not a great time for that, but self-awareness is key. If you feel like, if you're in a happy relationship right now, but you see yourself just kicking up dust just because, then, again, step back so you can look at the big picture to see if your next step or the next thing that you want to say is actually supportive of the relationship or not. All right. And the horsies. So the horse have a pretty good year as well. Because the horses have the dragon virtue. Sorry, I need another drink. Okay, so the horses have dragon virtue and the emperor star. So the combination of the dragon virtue and the emperor star means promotion, power, authority, and status. Guess who's a horse? I'm a horse. But you know what? Even for me, even if it's a bad year, I know I'm going to pull through anyway because I've got my plans. So problem solver, like you with the help of the dragon virtue, a lot of your problems will just kind of resolve quite easily. You might even, people would see you and say, oh my gosh, you're such a problem solver. And they might even come to you with their problems and you're just like, pew, pew, pew. Like, you know, you're just shooting everything out of sight and pretty much just on a roll, right? When it comes to that. And you'll also have the right resources and the right people to help you succeed. Either people that you already have in your circle now or the people that you're going to meet. One thing is abrupt changes. So it's going to be, it's generally a good year, but if there are blockages, it's not something that kind of slowly blocks you. It's something that comes to a screeching halt, right? So flexibility is the key here. Just like how the snakes needed plan B and plan C, the horse needs at least a plan B. Okay, you need to be flexible because things might happen and you might need to recalibrate. So financially, also a really good year, especially with the promotion, the power, the authority, and the status that comes with the dragon virtue and the emperor star. However, don't cast your cares into the wind. You still need to be really careful with your money. Okay? Just to make sure you don't lose it either in your investments or in bad purchases, bad decisions. Not a bad year for a relationship. So if you're a single horse, it's even the dragon virtue can just push you forward and help you to find that special someone. But work-life balance is going to get in the way. So whether you're committed or you're or you're single, the fact that you work a lot, and I'm talking to myself too, the fact that you work a lot will also impact your relationship with a potential love interest or your relationship with your loved ones right now. Because your work will, because of all the opportunities that are coming your way, the work will take you away from your loved ones a little too much and a little too long. Okay? So be mindful of that. And work-life balance and stress management and trying not to burn out. I'm being very cognizant of my own patterns here. So be really, really careful with your health because opportunities are great, money is great, but with all that also comes a lot of responsibilities, a lot of stress. So you need, I need to hear my own words. So I need, all horsies, myself included, need to be very aware of this. Okay. So goats or sheep people. You guys are funny. When I say goat, people will be, what happened to the sheep people? I'm like, goat, sheep, you're the same. So if you guys have what's called the elegant seal. So if you are in any creative endeavors, either you're a writer, you're in the creative departments in like the media department or an advertising agency, or you're an artist or even a chef, right? You're still creating. Your job involves you creating every day. You will find you're just kind of in the flow of inspiration this year. Okay? So that's great. Lots of energy because you guys have the combination of White Tiger and Sky Warrior. So lots of energy. You can have that energy to complete whatever it is that you want to do, but that's great if you have something to do. If you don't have a project and you have all that energy, that's actually going to blow up in your face, because you'll then feel frustrated and you feel irritated. Okay? Health-wise, potential bleeding issues, and also injury prone. So especially with the White Tiger, usually when I see the White Tiger, I tell my clients, be careful when you're not so much traveling, but be careful with like extreme sports. Okay? Like when you're going skiing or, motor racing or doing whatever, I might tone down those activities this year because you are more injury prone. You could feel more emotional this year, perhaps even depressed. If you're already dealing with depression, this is something that you need to take a huge notice of, because it might hold you back this year. That's the one thing that could hold you back. And that's a conundrum, isn't it? You have all this energy, and yet you could get pulled down if you don't have the support. So if you're starting to feel, or as the year progresses, you're starting to see that you're feeling a little melancholic, and you can't pull yourself out, go seek help. Okay? Tell your friends and family, don't deal with this yourself. Good indications for starting a relationship this year. So again, put yourself out there, and the energy is great. Do activities that uplift you. So in terms of just putting yourself out there, doing things that you love is going to shift your energy, and you might find there is potential that for you to find that special someone as your I want to say enjoying life, but that really is the truth. If because your energy is uplifted. Okay, so if you're single, use that abundance of energy to do things that you love. Start living passionately, and you will find that person as you go on your journey. If you are already committed, it's not a bad year to start thinking about taking it a step further. Okay. Monkeys can look forward to a strong year as well. Actually, monkeys are pretty well poised this year. Again, if you know how to play your cards right. So there's the fortune virtue, which is great for health and longevity. And actually, I'm working on some date selections for those of you guys in Manifesting Coach to see if we can activate the fortune virtue this month. Because health is really, really important, right? It doesn't matter how much money we have. Health is really important. Fortune virtue also helps you find and meet the right people so that you get things done, so that you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. You also have the heaven virtue, and the heaven virtue combined with the fortune virtue means you can overcome any obstacle. And sometimes, also don't be surprised if this year, like a long-standing issue will find resolution. So you have that to look forward to. Amazing abundance in wealth energy. So make sure you have your Feng Shui, and make sure you have your inner Feng Shui lined up to open that floodgate of wealth, because you have the prosperity star and you have the golden carriage star. In our school, golden carriage usually means wealth coming through a spouse or a partner. But in my personal experience, the wealth is not just financial wealth through your partner. It could be, let's say your husband or your wife has really good connections that can really help you progress, or, or even, I don't know, let's say you're looking for a job and your wife knows someone or whatever, right? That has an opening in a different company. It's things like that. So opportunities coming through your partner. Jade Hall, increase of value in your assets. So that's really good, especially if you have assets. If you don't have any investments right now, this might be a good year for you to start investing. Although it might need to be like short-term investments, or, you know, for you to be able to ride that Jade Hall energy. And again, do your homework before you invest in anything. Okay. So that's great. You have the Fortune Virtue, and the Heaven Virtue, the Prosperity Star, the Jade Hall, and the Golden Carriage. The downside is people around you. So I don't want to say don't trust everyone, but I kind of have to say don't trust everyone, because this could be the year where rumors or gossip or petty people or jealousy just won't, it's just be really stressful. It's not a huge problem, but it's still pretty stressful on its own. So because you have the 6 harms, you have the crossing Sha, and you have the curled tongue this year. So don't depend on others, especially to get something done. If you're able to get it done on your own, I would do it that way. Okay. You also have the robbery Sha, and usually the robbery Sha means potential of getting robbed. Even if not getting robbed, it could be a missed opportunity, okay, or an opportunity taken away from you, okay, not necessarily something like your wallet or whatever being taken. So just be mindful of that. Roosters, we're almost done here. Roosters, you have the intellectual star, so great for academic intentions, also really great for a career. You will see a rise in popularity because you have the 8 seats. People will, this year, because you've got the 8 seats, people will sit up and listen to you. So it's great if you're in sales. It's great if you have a very important presentation to pitch for your company, for instance. It's great even if you're an entertainer or a speaker. That's something that you really, really want to capitalize on. Be careful when dealing with people, especially if they're of the opposite gender. You have what's called the calamity Sha. And this usually just means inauspicious or undesirable communications or undesirable results. So just how do you be careful when dealing with people? It's just learn to read people a little bit more, and also be careful with your communication, right? Pick and choose what you want to say. Potential for incidences that lead to scarring because you have the sky dog. Now, I had this and I was worried years ago, okay? So again, depending on the rest of your chart and also depending on the feng shui of your home, having a sky dog, having a scar on your body could be as simple as, and this is what happened to me, having my wisdom tooth taken out, so there's that incision there. Or it could mean the more serious scars, right? So don't want to panic, you guys. But obviously, again, those extreme sports or whatever, because of the sky dog, I wouldn't partake in those kinds of activities too much this year. Or at least pad yourself, I guess, as best as you can. Also protect yourself legally, because you have the broken star, you have the prison star. So legally you could have issues, and not 100%, but it could be connected with people around you. So be careful with that. Okay. The broken star also would mean that people around you won't be as genuine as they try to portray themselves to be. So again, learn to be careful who you trust, be careful who you confide in. Just protect yourself energetically for that. For those in manifesting code, we have some tools around that. So you can, fall back on that to help you. Last one are the dogs. Yay, you guys, the dogs. We made it to the end. Stable wealth gain. It's not fast money though. You do need to work hard. You do need to persevere. You do need to be a little bit more patient. But this can be a strong year for you financially. As long as you just keep going. Okay? Don't give up. It will, at the end of it, you will say, okay, it's not a bad year. Okay? There is a lot of support for you in your career and in your business. There is support for you through your network. There is support for you even through joint ventures. So it's more in terms of working with other people. Okay? Don't just rely on yourself. To very, very different, 180 degrees from the rooster where you do things on your own. For the dog, try to see if you can link up with other people to work towards a similar goal. Okay? For single dogs, you're likely to meet someone through your current social circle. If your current social circle is small, you also will have a better chance of expanding it this year. Okay? If you are already committed, it's a good year to move ahead. You also have the sky happiness. So sky happiness usually means happy events too. It could mean marriage. Okay. It could mean graduation. It could mean the birth of a baby. So basically events that, that people celebrate. So the sky happiness usually denotes that, indicates that. And you also attract noble people easily. Okay. Just like that, like I mentioned, you get a lot of support in your career and in your business. For the dogs, relationship-wise, there is the 墨月 and the lonesome star. I forgot what the lonesome star is in Chinese. But whether you're single or you're in a committed relationship, you will feel distant from your partner, either physically distant, maybe it becomes a long distance relationship, or it could be emotionally and spiritually distant relationship. So if you feel lonely, reach out to your friends and family. Don't keep to yourself, pretty much, because that's not going to be helpful. Okay, so there it is, you guys. That's the 12 animals. I know I did it pretty fast and quick and dirty kind of thing, but those are the main stars that are in your chart for all the 12 animal signs. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys soon. For those of you guys in Manifesting Code, I believe we have a group call coming up soon. So I'll send out an announcement for that. For those of you who are still not in Feng Shui 2019, I don't know why you're not in Feng Shui 2019, because we're having so much fun in our private Facebook group. We're having so many long-standing questions answered about people's homes. Those of you who here are on Feng Shui 2019 and loving it, can you please tell people how much value you get from being part of the Feng Shui 2019? So if you have always been on the fence and you've never joined me in my annual webinars, you need to join it this year. How do you do it? Just go to fengshui2019.com, register, and then you'll be in our private Facebook group where you can post your layout, post your questions, and you get all the downloadable PDFs and all the video webinars that we did last year. Awesome, everyone. Have a great year ahead. 新年快乐，万事如意，步步高升。Take care. Bye.